Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to talk about how to make your own tactic on FM20, or how I make a tactic on FM20. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get on with it. Now before we start the video, there is an FM21 giveaway. All you have to do, guys, is subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and in the description below there's a tweet. Just give that tweet a retweet, follow me on LonghurstLive, and you have a chance of winning FM21 by launch. If you are looking forward to FM21 or you're enjoying the FM20 content on this channel, please subscribe and leave a like to this video. Massively appreciate the support so far. Almost at 500 subscribers, which is crazy. I tried to aim for it for the start of FM21. We're almost there with over a month to go. So can we keep up? But on to the tactics situation here. So we're going to use an example as West Ham. It's the team that I know best. There's a reason for this. If you know football or you know the team that you're in charge of, use your common sense and your brain first. Don't go off something different or something versatile. Always think about what you know best, because this is a football simulator. And it turns out that it's mostly accurate in terms of what you think is best. Will likely be best due to scouts in real life have scouted these players like you've watched them in real life. So for example, I know for West Ham at the start of last season, not the start of this season, we were looking good for a 4-2-3-1. So that's my sort of basis formation. I know we've got wingers. I know we've got a couple good holding midfielders. No, I haven't got many strikers, so why do I go two up front if I've only got one striker? So this is how I do it in the first place. In terms of sort of goalkeeper situations, I tend to just generally just like sweeper, keeper, defend as a basis for all formations or tactics. However, always look for sort of rushing out, speed, pace, acceleration, sort of one-on-ones. If they're not good at rushing out, there's no point in doing sweeper keeper, they'll be rubbish at it. So just keep goalkeeper defend. But someone that's sort of 11, 12 plus in that sort of role, always go sweeper keeper defend, unless you know, like your brain, Allison, you know he can be sweeper keeper support. You know Neuer can be sweeper keeper support as well. Just use your brain in terms of that. But in terms of looking out from basic point of view, if rushing out is minimum 12, I would go sweeper keeper defend. Fullbacks for me, as a player, you know that obviously fullbacks are important. I always go fullback attack. Now obviously we'll talk about what you shouldn't do if you don't want that. So I always pick fullback attacks for a tactic. I look at the team and build it from here. So I've gone for fullback attack. I know that Fredericks is quick. I know that he can get forwards and he can cross. Not necessarily defensively great, but that's why he's an attacking fullback. Same with Masuaku, really. He's better at defending, but he is also a quick crosser, dribbler of the ball with good technique. I know for a fact that he's more utilised going forwards, so you'll look at him there. Say someone like Aaron Cresswell. Say you got him as your starting lineup. He's not the quickest. He's not the most amazing technically gifted, but he's better defensively. So maybe go fullback support, just so he's not alone or leaving your wingers alone to attack. In terms of defenders, so if you're looking at a basic point of view, sort of go for the star ratings as a first analysis, but then after you've got them in your first team, compare them afterwards. So let's say Ogbonna and Diop here. I'll look at these and go the three main stats: marking, tackling, positioning. Are they better than Balbuena's, who's a third choice centre-back? If they are, keep them in. Then when you've done that role, familiarity-wise, in terms of a ball player, only do that if vision and passing's high. It's a Diop's a perfect example. 10 passing, 9 vision. Don't touch him as a ball player. There's no point. In terms of Ogbonna, though, 10 passing, 11 passing, 10 vision. I would still keep him as a central defender. He's not a ball player. He's a no-nonsense, but that loses the ball quite often. I would go for a central defender there. In terms of actually picking the attacking, I mean, 4 at the back is the most common formation, so we'll talk about that there. But in terms of attacking players, I like to have a look at the team report here. And you sort of know, from the assistant report here, you know you've got good depth in the centre mid. You know who your best centre midfielder is. Fornals is a very good option in centre mid. You know that Anderson's great on the right wing, but also if you use your brain, if you know football, he's great on the left wing as well. You know Fabianski's the best goalkeeper. You know Cresswell is one of the best left backs. Ogbonna there, defender there. Look at these. These help you. These are there to help you. You know for a fact that most of these names here should really be in your starting lineup. Obviously, Cresswell isn't for me, but I know that as a wing back or a full back attack, Masuaku is better. You know for a fact that where else we got here? Off the ball movement is quite good. So maybe you want to sort of pass into space, stuff like that, to make a team utilise what they're good at. What else we got here? It also helps with transfer windows. You know that you might need more backup right backs, need backup strikers. Passing, a lot of room for improvement. Maybe go for a shorter passing game so there's less risky passes. Vision, maybe not do longer ranges like I say. Stuff like that really does help your tactic in terms of your tactical awareness. But in terms of players, I tend to use what I want to use and then sort of look from there. So I know that Declan Rice is the best deep line playmaker at the club because I'm using my brain. If not, just go on a simple comparison. Go on a player there, compare with the other midfield options there, and just sort of compare which is which best. So we know that Declan Rice is the best deep line playmaker at the club here due to your comparisons and you comparing players, and also know that in terms of potential he'll be there for a long time, so you want to use him as much as you can really to make him develop as best as possible. Next to him, what do you want? Do you want, as a player here, do you want another holding midfield player? Do you want someone to support the attack, or do you want someone to support defence? If so, if you want someone that gets up and down, box to box is the best option here. You then want to have a look at who we got here. I would personally go for someone like Pablo Fornals. If you click at his name though, click on his name, and just have a look here at how he would fare as a box to box. Now for me, apart from his work rate, he's looking at 12, 13 plus in every box to box stat. So I would personally stick him in there. There's no harm in doing that. You can trial and error. That's what pre-season is for. Your first pre-season, trial and error. See what works for you. Now, if you're looking here and thinking, oh, DLP and box to box hasn't got much creativity, then maybe you want an advanced playmaker rather than another centre mid. Maybe you want to stick that guy up there and go, who do I want there? I mean, Fornals is the best option there, but he's also great at box to box. So maybe look at backup advanced playmakers, Jack Wilshere or Lanzini. Let's put Lanzini in there, for example, here. So now you know that you want a driving advanced playmaker. Obviously, if you look at the tactics, each role does give you an example of what they tend or try to do. Doesn't always happen depending on what player you have, but it tells you here what they want to do. So now you're looking at the core of the midfield. You're looking at fullbacks that are getting forwards. You're looking at a centre mid that stays back and helps the two defenders when the fullbacks go up. Looking at a box to box that helps both areas. An advanced playmaker attack, he tends to stay forwards. So what do you want from these wingers? Do you want someone that will always attack, so your fullbacks are always 2-on-1 versus their fullback? Or do you want someone that will sort of roam around here and not leave your defence too exposed? If that's the case, go for a winger support. They're a lot better in terms of sort of not going too forwards, releasing the ball and sort of helping your team out in places there. Let's go for winger support there, and we'll have a look at this. So you could always go for one winger attack and maybe stick your fullback and fullback support. It depends if you want to overload or not. If you want two attackers, you have to realise your left-hand side will be left open when your wingers, both your wing-backs and your wingers are just up here for no reason. So you want to have a think about it. Maybe, if you wanted to, you could always stick both your right-hand side players on attack, just because your DLP here can cover for the attackers there. You don't want necessarily have a box-to-box and two attacking wing-backs there. If all three are up the pitch at once, that whole left-hand side is completely open for you. Now, in terms of striker, you want to think how you want your striker to play. Do you want your striker to get in behind? If that's the case, play a quicker striker. Do you want someone to hold up? If that's the case, use a bigger man with better sort of first touch and passing. But at the moment with West Ham, you've only really got one option, which is Haller. So going to keep him advanced forward for now, just to talk about the basics here. Now, you've got your starting 11 here. You look at it and you think, right, does this look good on paper? Could this, in theory, work? You don't know if it can work in practice. You haven't done it in practice yet. But in theory, does it work? So, you've got fullbacks here that look supportive. You've got two wingers there. Your DLP can cover there. Your box-to-box can go there. So, Lanzini there, pretty much roaming in your midfield. You can get back if you want. You could go AP support, but I prefer AP attack. And your striker is pretty much an out-and-out goal scorer. Will your wingers provide support, or will they provide service for your attackers? Definitely, with two winger attacks there, you've got the right system. How do you want the players to play? Now, I would say positive for me. I think a positive mentality is definitely worth doing. Just because you've got the system there that works. You've got players that want to get forwards, but you've also got players that will keep the ball. And if you look over positive, you have some things here. Fullbacks overlap, midfielders break forward, like your box-to-box. You've got risk-free situations, usually sit back and help the midfield maintain possession. So you don't want to go too advanced there. Basically what it means is if there's a chance for your box-to-box to go forwards, he will. If not, he will stay in that midfield role and help Declan Rice not be on his own. In possession, we talked about this earlier. We didn't want a high passing directness because your passing isn't great. You didn't want sort of a high tempo because your work rates aren't amazing. Keep it on standard. If nothing mentions about work rate, keep it on standard. It is there. Now, there was something about off the ball, so pass into space if you can. Width-wise, it's more down to personal preference. You want to hug the touchline by all means, but I tend to keep it on fairly wide or fairly narrow. Crosses, in terms of crosses, have a look at your striker. He's 6'3", good jumping, good heading. Why not? Why not whip the crosses in? why not whip the crosses in? In terms of this, I wouldn't work the ball into the box unless you've got great technical vision passing players. I would leave it basic. For a team like West Ham that's quite a mix and match, are they good at crossing, good at passing, a couple of good long shots, I would leave it as pretty balanced and not pick. Play for set pieces by all means. If you've got a good set piece taker, look in the team report, then go for set pieces there. In terms of dribbling, I would leave it as it is. Creative freedom, I never touch these two really. Never tend to touch them. In transition, I will always go counter pressing counter, regardless of what anything says. Always go for these. That is my massive top tip. And in terms of distribution, if you want to pass it out from the back, make sure your centre backs make sure both your centre backs have good passing and vision. We know for a fact, we checked earlier, they don't. So distribute to fullbacks if you want to. Want to go a bit longer, then go to your target man by all means. But I tend to go for fullbacks, because if the fullbacks lose the ball, your centre back's always there. If your centre backs lose the ball, they're through on goal. That's my point of view anyway. Out of possession here, if you've got a quick defence, have a look at your defenders. Have they got quick pace? If possible, go for a higher line. If not, standard is more than okay. If you want to gegenpress, then go for a higher line by all means. However, I would leave it as a standard. For a team like West Ham that has basic average work rates, decent pace but not electric pace, I would keep it a standard there. I would go a bit more urgent pressing just because the game prefers a gegenpress style. It's nothing much to do with the team, it's more to do with the game prefers, or the game, you're better if you have a more urgent pressing style. And that is pretty much it in terms of tactics. That is really the basics of what I've gone through here. This is more of a first episode. If you want me to go in more detail, let me know in the comments below, guys. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe and leave a like. And I'll catch you all next time for hopefully some more in-depth tactics, guys. We can talk about some more tactical styles here. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all next time.